What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So it seems like lately every single video is starting with the physique update of Quinton Peaceboat. The reason is there has been a lot of hype behind him this time. So these updates were posted by his coach Matt Jensen. And I have to say that man is about to hurt some feelings in 2 weeks time. So Quinton started this prep in December. And him and Matt Jensen have been working with each other for almost 18 months now. And I don't think it was an impulse decision. I don't think it was the hype that made Quinton jump into the New York Pro. They decided it quite some time ago, but they just did not announce it. So as I told you guys yesterday that Quinton has been doing 2 hours of cardio every single day, especially for these last few weeks. And the good thing is they do not have a certain stage weight in their mind. The goal is to present a package with overall more density, more muscle maturity, with possibly the same conditioning or even better conditioning than what we saw from him at Tampa and Texas Pro back in 2022. Because conditioning-wise, he was spot on in both these shows. What he lacked was the overall size and the overall density, especially from his back. So if we analyze his physique update now, he looks absolutely guised. Quads are fully separated, feathers all over. But here is the thing, we already knew that his front shots are gonna be extremely powerful. And his coach put everyone on notice by putting up this rear lat spread as well. And it seems like a lot of progress has been made in that back department as well. That waist just seems non-existent at this point. And even his upper half is looking so much more denser, so much more thicker now. The glutes are already in. And I have to say Quinton will be shredded. And that is going to be a problem for many guys on the stage. Because with genetics like Quinton, all his competitors would want him to come in off. I mean, even a guy like Andrew Jacked, he said that Quinton is the only man that he's afraid of in the future. And Andrew Jacked is known as the Mona Lisa of bodybuilding. He's one of the most aesthetic guy out there. So that statement by Andrew Jacked is such a compliment for Quinton. And not to mention he is a top 5 Olympian as well. So how well do you guys think Quinton will do this year? And if he gets to the Olympia stage, can he crack top 10? Do let me know in the comments below. Next up we have a physique update from Behrouz Tabani. And I have to tell you guys that man doesn't mess around, especially when it comes to being shredded and when it comes to being peeled. He is a little more than 6 weeks out of the Empro Classic Spain. And he looks absolutely crazy right now. So Behrouz with the physique that he presented at Romania Pro post Olympia, that could have easily been in the top 10 at the Olympia last year. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with a guy like Samson Dauda, who is top 3 in the world. And he held his own really damn well. So there is something about all these Iranian athletes, like Hadi Chopin has those crazy striations on his chest. And same goes for Behrouz Tabani, and even on his shoulders as well. So Behrouz is certainly entering Spain as a major contender, and he is definitely one of the favorites to win this show. So many people believe that Behrouz can actually beat both Michal Krizo and William Bonac as well. So irrespective of the results of this show, Behrouz is going to compete in Italy Pro as well, which is scheduled just 1 week after Spain. And then he's going to be doing Dubai Pro, which is going to be happening in July. So at least 3 shows are lined up for Behrouz Tabani in a single calendar year, which has never happened before since he turned pro. So the biggest excitement here at Empro Classic Spain would be him going up against a multiple times Arnold Classic champion, William Bonac. Although William Bonac isn't in his prime anymore. But if in fact this is his final run, Bonac is gonna make sure that he does everything in his power, everything possible to make it a memorable one. And then we're gonna see Behrouz Tabani against a guy like Andrew Jacked. And that I have to say is gonna be so exciting. So if Behrouz is able to make it to the Olympia stage, which I'm sure he will, I am talking about in terms of qualification. And if he in fact makes it to the US, he is gonna be another major factor in that top 10. Possibly even higher than top 10. And that only means one thing guys. A few of the guys who placed top 10 at the Olympia last year, they might not even qualify for the Olympia this year. Is Tonio regretting his decision of not doing the Rite Pro? I bet he is. Not only was that a chance to secure his Olympia spot, but a very good opportunity to earn 25 grand as well. And look at his position right now. I have to say he is in a very bad spot. He has to go up against a guy like Nick Fokker, which is fine. I mean, Tonio announced it way back that he is going to defend the New York Pro. But now Quinton is another wild card in there. And I think we will all be really shocked if Quinton doesn't do Cali Pro as well, which is going to be happening just 1 week after the New York Pro. So what if Quinton is able to beat Tonio both at the New York Pro as well as Cali Pro? What options is Tonio left with? And don't get me wrong, no one is underestimating Tonio, especially after the way he showed up at the Arnold Classic South America. And he made a guy like Rafael Brandao look all soft, and I have to say narrow from the back as well. But there is also an argument that Rafael Brandao wasn't at his best in Brazil. I mean, even if you are not a fan of Rafael Brandao, you must admit that if Brandao showed up like Ohio in Brazil, it would have been lights out quite easily. And that's how good he was at the Arnold Ohio. And that is why the judges made him stand next to Samson Dauda to see whether he is ready to take that next step into that final call out at the Olympia stage. But still, Tonio was able to give him a very good run for his money at the Arnold Brazil. And I believe he's gonna have the best back shots along with Nick Walker at this year's New York Pro. And one major critique he received after the Arnold Brazil was that his quads were not separated enough. And he could have showcased more lines in his legs, even though he has one of the best sweeps out there. His sweep from the front is one of the reasons he has such an impressive X-frame. So if he comes in with more separated legs, it is gonna be game on. But still, I have to say his battle is gonna be with Quinton and Martin Fitzwater, because I don't think anyone believes that he has a chance to beat a guy like Nick Walker. That is a crazy looking physique update at 10.5 weeks out from John Jewett. He's getting ready for Vancouver Pro, and you better believe that he's gonna make some really good condition guys look really soft and watery. So John has made some great size gains in this past off season. The guy was pushing 250 pounds with what we can easily describe as an unbelievable off-season condition. And that is why he looks so freaking shredded even at 10 weeks out of the show. No way John could have competed in the 212 class for another year. He was losing too much muscle, too much size, and too much fullness while trying to make that weight cutoff. And even though he was able to crack top 10 in the 212 Olympia, his look overall was way better at his men's open debut last year, which was at Legion Sports, where he placed a very close second against a guy like Charles Griffin, who was able to make top 10 at the Olympia last year. And Charles Griffin really had to match him in conditioning to beat him in that show. We all know Charles Griffin is one of the most conditioned guys in the men's open. So who else is doing Empro? Well, Regan Grimes is in. And we also saw Regan Grimes show up in a spectacular condition at the Olympia stage last year. So his overall track record of coming in a great shape is kinda shaky. But we have seen it, especially in these last few months, that he has been improving. From Italy Pro, which was his first show, to Europa Pro Spain, to the Olympia. He actually improved in every single show. So Regan will absolutely have the best structure in this lineup. I mean, he is one of the most aesthetic guy out there. And we have to keep in mind, he has been able to win shows even not being at his best, just like he won Europa Pro Spain last year against Nathan Deasia. Another guy who is doing Empro is Staminal. Now Stan is a guy who brought great looks to every show in 2023, and he was really close to winning his first pro show in the men's open bodybuilding and get to the Olympia stage for the very first time. So Stan is another one of those guys who has put on some quality size and thickness during this off-season. And the kind of conditioning that he has stayed in throughout this off-season, that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if he wanted to, he could have stepped on any stage with just a few weeks of prep. That is how crazy his conditioning was in this off-season. So Staminal has put on so much size during his career. I don't think there is another athlete out there who started his career as a men's physique athlete, then moved to classic physique, and now he is actively competing in the men's open bodybuilding. And yes, the odds are against him at Empro, especially with a guy like Regan Grimes, who has superior genetics and who has way better flow, especially if he comes in shape. But we have seen it in the past, that Staminal's conditioning is always spot on. So I am really looking forward to this show as well, as I believe this is gonna be another exciting one. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.